Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, thanks for your service. In your answers to to Senator Menendez's questions, you sure seem to make clear what your definition of dismantlement really means. You said you made it also clear to Chairman Kim Jong-un. Did you?
Did I make it clear to him?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, sir.
how clear? How many times did you repeat it?
Sir, I spoke in English. There was a translator. But our team confirmed that the translator said what I said. I don't know. I had 2 meetings, maybe 3 hours plus total. Enough that I understood him to have understood what it was I was saying. Indeed, put aside what I said, when I heard back from him.
That's what I wanted to ask.
When I heard back from him, there was little doubt in my mind that he understood the scope of what it was we were asking for, the nature of what would have to take place, the verification that we would need to undertake in order to be comfortable that we could begin to deliver the assurances that he in return asked for. And so I think we were having a real conversation where there was real understanding between the two of us. It's what caused me to recommend to the President that I thought the time would in fact permit us to have a real opportunity to do something historic. I'm still optimistic that we will reach that point. I know the President is as well.
So you have no doubt that you made it crystal clear and he fully understands exactly what dismantlement means in terms of these negotiations?
To the best of my ability, Senator.
So he understood it. Did he have any reaction whatsoever?
Yes. And while I have...
Did he resist it? Did he seem welcoming to it? I mean, what was his, as best you can determine through translators, what was his reaction to what really was table stakes?
He was unsurprised. There would be no surprise what Secretary Pompeo's brief was going to be when he walked into that room. We'd made this abundantly clear through multiple channels over months of this administration. So there was no surprise. It was the conversation revolved around how it is we would achieve that, what the mechanisms might be to begin to achieve that, and how the United States would demonstrate in return that we were committed to the assurances that we were prepared to provide to him.
So you'd say he basically accepted those terms of a negotiation, that what he knew the U.S. side would be pressing for was that your definition of dismantlement?
Yes, Senator. I don't know how. Yes, I believe that's right. I don't know how you would read the administration statements over the past months and then have the Secretary of State walk in and repeat them and not at least understand. Be careful. Yes. I think the answer is yes.
Okay, so with that understanding, he still released 3 hostages.
Yes, that's correct, and agreed to have a summit on June 12th as well, and agreed to send teams to prepare for the June 12th meeting between the two leaders.
So the point I'm trying to make is the administration has been crystal clear, completely consistent. The result of your meeting was still the release of 3 hostages. So what's changed here is Kim Jong-un's approach to this thing, correct? Very, very disappointingly so.
I regret the statements that the North Koreans have made over the past few days, and the fact that we've not been able to conduct the preparation between our two teams that would be necessary to have a chance for a successful summit.
Do you believe the chairman also believed President Trump's offer of assistance in return for that complete dismantlement? Do you think he had any doubt of that as well?
Senator, my wife always reminds me I should be careful about knowing what's in someone else's mind.
Mine too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get your understanding of how those talks.
Yes, I communicated very clearly that this was a sincere commitment on behalf of the President of the United States, that we were prepared to make that transaction happen in a way that would allow his regime to have the assurances it needed in order to make this fundamental strategic shift in the history of in the North Korean trajectory, to make this fundamental shift where for decades it has been that these nuclear weapons were the thing that provided them security, and to convince him that in fact his security was best assured by going through this process and working with the United States to achieve that.
So what conversations now have you had with the Chinese officials on this topic? Are you convinced that they are going to continue to cooperate and maintain those sanctions, which is the only thing that is going to bring Kim Jong-un to that negotiating table in good faith to actually agree to dismantlement in exchange for all the benefits to his economy and his people?
I met with the Chinese foreign minister yesterday afternoon. He assured me that they would continue to abide by all the UN Security Council resolutions relating to this, and that they understood that those needed to remain in place, not till June 12th. At this point, we were talking about, in the context there being a summit on June 12th, but not only through June 12th, but until such time as we achieved what it was the Americans believed. And I think, frankly, that China agrees would be the outcome that is best for the world and the best for North Korea as well.
Are you aware, are you getting any hints that there's any relaxation of those sanctions, more goods crossing between the border, between China and North Korea?
Senator, we haven't seen anything that suggests they've violated the Security Council resolutions in a substantial way. I worry about everyone. The global pressure campaign that is put in place is important and needs to continue. Perhaps even this morning more than yesterday. That's very important so that we can ultimately get to the right place here.
What gave me some measure of optimism is, from my standpoint, I think it's entirely in China's best interest to achieve exactly what the administration is demanding here.
Senator, that's what their foreign minister told me yesterday as well, unambiguously believes that. He told me that China believes that the denuclearization of North Korea is in China's best interest.
Well, let me just say I support President Trump's letter. I think it's an excellent letter. We need to make sure that Kim Jong-un understands that we are completely consistent. We will absolutely demand that, and that all the benefits that can flow to North Korea will not occur until we achieve our definition that he is well aware of, crystal clear, of complete dismantlement. So again, thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir.